Hey guys, it's TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be starting off my rounds of top 10 figures lists I like to do towards the end of the year on the channel with Marvel Legends here. Now, I might piss some people off when I say this, but I gotta be honest. I think last year was a little bit stronger than this year, and it's not really fair to say that because the pandemic most likely played a role in that, excuse me. But also last year we had a lot of stuff released all at once, as well as a very different collection of stuff for Marvel Legends release. Very diverse type of releases. We had normal waves as well as Spider-Man Retro Collection, X-Men Movie Collection, as well as some stuff like some deluxe figures. This year we had some of that, but not as much as last year. But we still had a lot of great figures that were released. And you're looking at my top 5 honorable mentions, a lot of which I did not get to review, sadly. But eventually I just got so busy, I was just like, there's no point in reviewing it at this point. It's been out for too long. So, from left to right, number 15, we have Morlun. Very cool figure. I like the reused suit parts. I like the, Captain Marvel wave, Nick Fury parts for the suit body. But we also have some new stuff like the coat and jacket, as well as, the hands and the heads and whatnot. I do wish it came with a few more accessories, but the alternate head it comes with is pretty nice. Number 14, we have Shriek. Very, very cool figure, and I'm really going to be digging the double jointed elbow females moving forward. It's really cool how they did that. The rest of the body is not super crazy, but a pretty good head sculpt, and again, really awesome articulation. Number 13, I have Lady Deathstrike. Very awesome, unique sculpt for this figure. Just my personal problem keeping it from the top 10 is it's got some stiffness in the joints that I really wish it wasn't there, and I've been trying to figure out how to improve the range of motion and the stiffness, mostly in the elbows, and it just isn't working out for me too well, unfortunately. But it's a very cool looking piece nonetheless. Number 12, we have Omega Sentinel. I have a similar gripe here with this figure compared to Lady Deathstrike, but the elbows aren't as bad as Lady Deathstrike's, and the rest of the figure looks absolutely fantastic with great paint apps. Unique. Maybe there may be some reuse in the body here and there. But not a lot, because there's a lot of additional details and sculpted on this that make it absolutely fantastic. And at number 11, I'm putting Jonah Jameson, because, hey man, it looks just like J.K. Simmons, and yeah, it's an MCU Jonah Jameson that I think that they did a really good job on. So, let's go ahead and start with the top 10. At number 10, I have Icarus from the Eternals wave. I myself am very surprised I actually put this on the top 10. Because I really did not like Eternals at all. However, I think it helps that I got this figure for a little bit cheap too. I am very surprised with this figure. I think that the blue and the gold on here looks really good in person. And the promotional images I didn't think looked good at all, but this looks fantastic. And the pinless technology also helps a lot. Not just with this figure, but a lot of other figures too. The only problem I think I really have with this figure is that I think the hands are a little disproportionate. I think they're a little too big. But that's really about it, man. It has really good articulation and a great likeness to the actor Richard Madden. And I am very surprised how much I was playing around with this figure after the review. Like, it is a very solid piece. At number 9, I am cheating a little bit, but it's going to be Red Skull and Dormammu from the Zemnu wave. I think I like Red Skull a little bit more than Dormammu, just by a little bit. I'm putting them both on here. I'm cheating a little bit, but it's because they're using the exact same body mold, just with some alterations throughout. Again, I think they did Red Skull a little bit better. But man, these are actually a lot of fun to have. I really like the unique body mold and the pinless tech. I'm a sucker for the pinless tech, man. I really like it. And it's lots of accessories that I did not expect with these figures, like alternate hands and whatnot. I think that Dormammu's different parts that are alternating, like the fire pieces, they're fine, but like the crown piece going on top of his head, it's not the greatest. I think that's what keeps it from being a little bit higher compared to Red Skull. But man, they are very fun to have in your collection. I've had a lot of fun with them in my collection, and I'm hoping that they reuse these body molds somehow in the future. At number 8, I'm going to put the Sylvie figure from the Watcher Marvel What If series, which this figure here is from the Loki Disney Plus TV show. Of course, you guys knew that, but very nice figure. Really like the unique body mold. I think they did a great job with it. I'm hoping that they reuse some of these parts for some of the females, because especially the boots. I like the boots a lot here for this figure. I think they could definitely have some potential with other female characters in the future with it. I just wish maybe an additional pair of hands, because we have one fist and one open hand, and then we have two hands meant for holding her sword. pairs of fists and open hands would have been a little bit nicer with this figure, but still, it's very awesome. Good articulation, great likeness to the actress Sophia DiMartino, and overall a very solid figure. At number 7, I have the Wenwu figure from the Shang Chi and Mr. Hyde series. I believe the outfit you see here actually is based on concept art and not the final result in the film, but honestly, I don't care. I still really liked this figure. I think it has a great likeness to Tony Leung, great details and sculpting and whatnot. Very good articulation minus the upper legs where the skirt piece gets in the way of that articulation a bit. But we also have a lot of alternate hands that can be used for Shang-Chi if you wanted to, as well as a hook sword for this guy. Overall, I actually had a lot of fun with this figure when I first got it. And following right along, we have Shang-Chi from the same series as Wenwu that I just talked about. I like this one a little bit more than Wenwu because it doesn't have the hindered legs. I just wish that this figure itself came with fists, but if you wanted to, you could reuse the parts, like I said, from Wenwu for this guy here. A very awesome figure with great articulation. A very good likeness to Simu Liu, and I just had a lot of fun posing this thing around, man. It was such a fun figure to pose. It's a very cool looking figure. We're getting to the top 5, and at number 5, which, a bit of a spoiler alert, this is my favorite MCU figure of the year. It is Scarlet Witch from WandaVision, part of the first Disney Plus Marvel Legends wave, Captain America Flag Year wave, which, to be honest, I was pretty mixed on that wave overall, but this is definitely my favorite out of the whole wave. It's finally nice to have an MCU Scarlet Witch in my collection. Very cool figure, looks just like Elizabeth Olsen. Very good articulation overall. Awesome alternate parts and accessories and effects pieces. Great detail and sculpting in the unique parts that we have here for this figure, and overall just had a lot of fun with this figure. At number 4, which is one I did not get to review, sadly, it is M.O.D.O.K, the deluxe figure here. This thing is awesome. I had a lot of fun with this figure. It doesn't seem like it could do much, but honestly, it does a lot. I'm surprised how much articulation you can get out of this guy. The changing of the faceplates that you can do are awesome, and the detail on those are great. My only complaint really is that a lot of the rest of this figure, mostly like in the gold that you see, and then the purple in his arms and whatnot, it's very plain. There's not really any paint apps in certain areas, of course. Definitely not in the arms and legs. But just the way that this thing looks, the way they executed the overall sculpt, is just very, very awesome. And I'm glad to have an updated M.O.D.O.K. A lot of us needed one. I was not able to complete the Toy Biz one, and from what I've seen, some people prefer this one over that one. But, you know, I digress. Very awesome figure nonetheless. A much needed updated character that we needed for this line. The top 3, man, it was getting really hard to figure out the placement of these figures, but I think I have it figured out now. Number 3, I have Modular Iron Man from the Ursa Major Iron Man series that we got earlier this year. Awesome figure, seriously. I really like this look for Iron Man. The fact that they were able to pretty much nail it in figure form is awesome. I've said it over and over again. The pinless tech makes a difference. It's pretty subtle, but for me, it just makes the figure a little bit better. My really only big complaint I have is the red doesn't look all that great. It's a little matte in some areas and a little too glossy in some areas, but the gold on here is phenomenal. Articulation is awesome. The alternate hands and blast effects are super sick. This was my favorite Marvel Legends for a while until I got some of the stuff that you're about to see for 2-in-1 and whatnot, but it is still a super awesome Marvel Legends Iron Man figure, and it might be one of my favorites so far. At number 2, it's Ultron, man. This thing is awesome. Everything good I had to say about the modular Iron Man is applied here, where it comes to, you know, the way that they were able to pretty much nail the look of this figure from the comics in figure form. It is awesome. The pinless tech is great. Great articulation, bunch of alternate accessories and whatnot. However, the paint apps are, to me, much better here compared to modular Iron Man, which is pretty good there, but man, just look at this figure. Everything of silver you see on here is painted on here, and it shows. It's very beautiful. Looks incredibly awesome. Such a fun figure to have. I'm so glad that they finally nailed an Ultron that we've been needing for a long time, and then the classic look too. It is such a great figure. And at number 1, it's gonna be the Spider-Man series PS5 Miles Morales. I love this figure, man. It is so cool. They absolutely nailed this figure. While it may not have as great of paint apps as what you'd get with, you know, Ultron, like I showed off earlier, the fact that you get 2 whipping hands, 2 open hands, 2 fists, 2 electricity hands, an unmasked head, even though it doesn't really look like Najee Jeter from the game, and a Build-A-Figure piece? Absolutely stacked figure. awesome articulation, great details that they went through with this figure, man. Just all the intricate details on the suit in the game they got down here pretty closely. Super awesome figure. Great articulation, like I think I already said. Pinless tech on here. Again, it really helps. I just love this figure. It is awesome. Very glad that they nailed this figure. I hope that we get a similar treatment here to when we eventually get another PS4 Spider-Man, since there's another game that's going to be coming out. Man, so awesome. Great year for Marvel Legends. Seriously, I love a lot of these figures. Let me know your favorites down in the comments below, what you think about the list here. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys later.